We hope you're ready. It's Texas A&M, and it's not going to start on time. As Reese Atwood tried to yell timeout, and Leah Dame is going to come out. And before there's even a pitch thrown, we have some sort of an issue, maybe with the wristband of Mac Morgan or the watch device that she wears. And Patty Ruth Taylor is coming out. Some teams have begun to use these watches this year to signal in the pitch calls. And we have an electronic malfunction before the game can get started, which hopefully will not last as long as our 12-minute trash in the outfield wall delay. We said, what more could there possibly be in this series? And we quickly find out what more there could be.
Well, and I'm sure there's more to come, too. But while we have a little bit of a break, let's talk a little bit about Mac Morgan and what she throws. She's going to be a hard thrower at 69 to 71 miles an hour. She's going to use her drop ball about 90% of the time. She lives down in the zone, creates a lot of ground ball outs, pitch to contact type pitcher. Going to use her infield back behind her. Again, this is the third time that A&M has seen her in 3 games.
So it looks like Mac is going to something different on the wrist now. It's not that watch she had. Here's what she's done in the Super Regional. Yeah, only 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Everything else has been in play. Now we are ready to go. And game 3 of the Super Regional begins with ball 1 from Mac Morgan to Kennedy Powell at 6:36 local time here in Austin, Texas. The temperature continues to climb. The sun beating down. It's 96 right now. It feels like 106. And Morgan delivers a strike, 1-1.
It's been a couple of hot, exhausting, emotional games, and going back to Friday and Saturday. And for sure, you know that game 3 is going to prove to be no different.
96, you just saw, feels like 106, or according to the Texas stat broadcast, feels like Cinnabar Island. The real heads, the real millennial heads, will know what we mean. Outside ball 3, getting an early sense of the strike zone here. Mac Morgan doesn't get a couple of close calls. Leah Dame has the plate. James Colsey's at first. Marty Abzish in second. Smokey Eds is at third. A ground ball foul. It's 3-2 for Kennedy Powell. Sophomore leadoff hitter once again for Texas A&M. Has reached base a season high 9 consecutive games. She has 3 straight 2-hit games and has gone 4 for 9 with a stolen base in this series.
Well, and it's early, but defining the strike zone is going to be important today for both starting pitchers and likely to see entire pitching staffs maybe in this one. All hands on deck for both pitching staffs, but a lot of contact between both teams. These pitchers are going to be trying to live on the edges and see what they can get.
Powell grounds one wide at first, still 3-2.
This has been the type of first couple of games in game 1 and game 2 where there have been so many defining pitches with how closely played these games have been and how the offenses have been so hot that every pitch and strike call and ball call is just so important for these pitchers to try to figure out what they can get from the strike zone today.
On the ground toward the middle, there's the shortstop, Vivi Martinez, and she retires Powell. A 7-pitch battle won by Mac Morgan to begin game 3. Have to be alert if you're an infielder. Mac Morgan, in the first 2 games of the Super Regional, had only 2 swings and misses on 48 A&M swings. Here's the energetic shortstop, Coco Woolley. And Woolley grounds one out of play.
Well, you'll notice with both teams that they have a lot of speed. Really nice mix of both speed and power. You've seen Texas A&M's power maybe step it up a level here at the Super Regional compared to how they had been hitting coming into the Super. And Texas has had that power and that speed all year. Coco Woolley, though, at the plate now, are the fastest players in D1.
Woolley with a ground ball to short again, and a bobble by Martinez leads to the game's first base runner. We had 5 errors yesterday. We have one on the second batter of the game.
The defenses are going to be tested all game long, and it's going to come down to who is able to make plays back behind their pitchers. With the amount of contact that we've seen, defenses are going to need to step up and make plays.
That's Martinez's 14th error of the season. And a runner aboard for Trinity Cannon, who has demolished Texas pitching here in Austin. 5 for 14 in the postseason, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and 4 free passes as well. Cannon did homer off Morgan in the 5th inning of game 1. One of her career high 18. And Cannon drills the ball the other way, up the alley in right center field. Woolley will be sent around third to score easily as the ball was bobbled by Maloney. And Trinity Cannon brings home another run for Texas A&M. It's her 8th RBI of the Supers, and the Aggies strike first for a 3rd straight day.
They've been pitching Trinity Cannon outside, and so she looks for that pitch. That's how the little bit of success that they've had against Cannon this weekend has come on the low outside corner. So what does she do? She lets that pitch get deep, and she barrels it to right center field to score the first run again for Texas A&M.
Officially, it's a double and an E9, so no RBI there for Trinity Cannon. Here's Julia Cottrell. Maloney did fumble the ball, but there was no way Coco Woolley was going to be held on that play.
You saw my face when you just said that out loud, because I didn't know that, but Coco Woolley is scoring on that play all day, even if it's handled perfectly.
No question. No. Called an E9, no RBI for now. Trinity won't care. Inside to Julia Cottrell, ball 2. Well, Texas all season long has jumped on teams. And all 8 of their losses have come when they allow the first run, and they've allowed it all 3 games. The former All-American Cottrell takes one around the outside corner and doesn't like it. There's Mike White. Texas undefeated when they score first. And a claw back from down 4 yesterday. They could not claw back from down 6 in game 1. 2-2 for Cottrell. Just above the dirt.
Well, Texas A&M have been the aggressors in both games. The 16 seed going up against the 1, and A&M has played fearless. And at times, Texas has played like the 1 seed that has felt a lot of pressure and had to mount a comeback late.
Cottrell goes the other way. Maloney makes the catch for the 2nd out. So Trinity Cannon's given A&M the lead in the first game, and the 3rd game, Jasmine Hill gave Texas A&M the lead in game 2 with a 2-run home run in her first at-bat. Once more, she's matched up with her old Arizona State teammate. And now Leah Dame will signal that Matt Morgan can pitch. Jazz Hill with 4 homers, 14 RBIs, and 13 career NCAA tournament games. Her 46th home run in her 237th career game yesterday. Career over 1,000 OPS. She has had a grand career between Arizona State and Texas A&M. This is her 2nd trip to the Super Regionals. 2 years ago, her Arizona State team and Mac Morgan's Arizona State team lost in 3 at home to Northwestern. A series that is on Trisha Ford's mind as she tries to break through and get her team to the World Series. Made it as a head coach in 2018 with the Sun Devils. And she's never been there again as a head coach. Fresno State, Arizona State, Texas A&M. Her 9th trip to the NCAA tournament. A 4-time Conference Coach of the Year. Certainly could have won it in the SEC this year. Hill grounds the ball softly to Mia Scott on the run. It's not in time to first, and Hill legs out an infield hit.
It's good hustle by the senior there, Jazz Hill, who's shown some pop and some power here in the Super Regional, kind of breaking out of a slump. But this is just pure hustle to get down the line to beat Mia Scott with that throw. Is the transfer that didn't seem like maybe she had the best grip as she moved that ball from her glove to her bare hand, and maybe didn't get as much behind the ball as she normally would. Great hustle by the senior to just beat that throw and keep this rally alive.
They get a 6 for 10 super for Jasmine Hill. Texas takes a timeout.
It was a big question, Kevin, for both teams entering in this game 3 with how the offenses have hit, and at times how the pitchers have had nerves for Texas of who's going to get the start in game 3. You have Citlali Gutierrez. She started game 1, didn't make it out of the first. You have the freshman of Tegan Kavan, who started in game 2, looked pretty good, gave up a couple of home runs, but gives a rise ball changeup look that seems like a good matchup to Texas A&M. They give the ball to Mac Morgan, who maybe has been the most consistent in terms of day in and day out mindset, and she's a junior, an upperclassman.
So strike one to Rylan Wiggins with 2 on, 2 out, and 1 in. The senior Wiggins, who's been an Aggie for every game of her career, had 3 hits last night, went 3 for 5. A big chance to give Texas A&M a first inning crooked number. Was a first-team All-SEC player a year ago. Was an all-defensive pick in the SEC this year. 226 career games started, all for the Ags. Wiggins drills a ball, but she's a little late. Player that Trisha Ford has called very Trisha. Her blue-collar work ethic, constantly working in the cage, constantly has a tremendous attitude. Maybe nobody loves softball on this team more than Rylan Wiggins. And that's off the glove of Atwood. Hill will advance. Cannon stays tethered to third. It's a pass ball, just the second of the year against Reese Atwood.
A drop ball that she just held on to and kind of crossed up Reese Atwood back behind the plate. You can see her moving in. That pitch goes up and out.
And with 2 in scoring position, Atwood tries to frame one.
That looked like that could have been a striked pitch right there, and Mac Morgan doesn't get the call. Rylan Wiggins gets to see at least one more pitch.
Here it is on 3-2. The 30th pitch of the first inning coming for Mac Morgan. With Cannon at third, Hill at second. Wiggins swings and misses. Just the third win starts the game. And Ashton Maloney starts with a line drive to left, sinking into the glove of Kramer Este. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And a lot of hard contact in this series. A lot of hard contact from both teams right at defensive players at times. Hits not falling, some bloops falling, close foul balls just being foul or fair. So much offense this weekend.
Here's Mia Scott. Scott shows a bunt, pulls back on ball 1. Mia 3 for 10 here in the Super Regional. 0 for 4, then 3 for 6. She's reached base for Texas in 54 of 58 games this season. Scott 11th in the Big 12 in on-base percentage, tied for 2nd in triples, 7th in hits, 8th in RBIs, 5th toughest to strike out. There's power in her game, there's speed, and there's a very disciplined eye. Makes her the perfect number 2 hitter. That ball just fouled down the first base line.
I think Mia Scott is about as electric of a player as it gets in softball. With her athleticism, her power, her speed, she's just so dynamic and fun to watch play the game, because when she's feeling her best, she just plays so free.
She had 26 steals as a freshman. That's down to 5, but the power has gone up significantly with 24 extra base hits. 2-1. And Scott takes one off the corner for ball 3.
Yeah, those are the type of pitches right there as an example to see what these pitchers are going to get on the edges. That's a pitch that at times you may get as a pitcher, depending on what umpire is back behind the plate. You want that pitch, but if you're not going to get it, you have to come back more on the plate, which is good for the hitter.
Slow ground ball to first from Scott. She was out in front of a 3-1. Nicely done by Ackerman to get 2 quick outs.
Yeah, the keys that Coach Ford told us for Shaylee Ackerman were to split the zone vertically, to be able to change speeds. Her changeup is not her best pitch, but it's a pitch that she must have in this game today, and to be efficient. Efficient there, going at Mia Scott as well as Ashley Maloney, a couple of quick outs.
Liliana Martinez takes down and away.
And there's that changeup.
Martinez has come on like a house on fire of late. She's 4 for 10, drove in 2 yesterday. And she grounds one to first. Trisha Ford wanted efficiency. She got it. Like one of the best teams in the nation and well above what you'd expect out of a number 16 seed.
Well, even in Coach White's presser after the game, he said, if that's a number 16 team, I'm dumbfounded. And Texas A&M's hitters from top to bottom have looked very prepared for every single Texas pitcher that has entered the circle. And that's been a big part of why they've been in this super regional. That's why they won game 1. They struck first, 3 runs in the first inning. They just have not looked back with their offensive approach. Their pitchers have battled. Emily Kennedy has battled.
And at the bottom of the order, no one had a bigger swing than Maya Perez, the batter at the plate right now, whose first career extra base hit was a 2-strike, 2-out, bottom of the 7th, game-tying 3-run homer. Nearly hit our TV truck in deep center field. And Perez fell behind 0-2 in that count, worked it to 2-2, just as she's done here. Trinity Cannon's been the star of the Super Regional, but Maya Perez had the breakout moment, a moment that had the whole softball world buzzing. And Perez fouls one back to the net here. A&M had a single from Allie Enright to extend the inning before this swing off Estelle Check.
Down 0-2, took a curveball away and a rise ball up to get to that pitch. But the presence that she had in the box as a freshman in that moment, down to your last strike, to take those pitches and get one over the plate, said a lot about her.
And this is what Trisha Ford expected. She told us she's been seeing these signs over the last month in practice for Maya Perez. She had only started back-to-back games once this year. That was February 29th and March 1st, Long Beach State, Weber State. She's now started 4 straight in the postseason. Putting a good at-bat together against Mac Morgan. And Perez hits a ground ball to second. Leanne Good has the start there today, and she retires her.
With that swing too, Kevin, you said that everybody in the softball world was talking about it. They were, and you didn't have to be an A&M fan to love that swing and what you saw in that moment. You just had to be a softball fan and appreciate sports and how that will be a moment that she remembers for the rest of her life.
Win or lose, it's one of those unforgettable swings, and hopefully for Maya Perez, it's the harbinger of an amazing career to come. And Allie Enright was the player who set it all up with 2 outs. She singled to get Perez to the plate. The 2 flip-flop in the lineup today as Enright falls behind 0-2.
Well, and that was her only hit that she's had in this Super Regional. Key one at that to extend that inning.
Been a tough stretch over the last 8 for Enright, who pops one up to Mia Scott.
It's a good job by Mac Morgan after a lot of traffic in that first inning and some nerves on defense to get a couple of quick outs here to the home run hitter and then to Allie Enright quick.
Couple of ground outs, couple of air outs, one strikeout for Mac Morgan today. Here's Kramer Este. Series where there just have not been many strikeouts. Coming into the game, the two teams had combined for just 13 strikeouts in 32.5 innings, and they had put 115 balls in play.
Yeah, if you're looking for maybe more of a pitching super regional, I think maybe the Alabama-Tennessee super regional might be more for you. But if you like offense and some crazy moments that you're not going to expect at all that are yet to come, this is a super regional you want to be a part of.
Duke, Missouri might be for you as well, as it's scoreless in the top of the 8th. Winner take all game 3. That game's on ESPNU. Bama, Tennessee are on ESPN News. Alabama leading 4-0 in the 4th on a first inning grand slam by former Texas A&M catcher Riley Valentine. And that would be, perhaps, depending on what happens here, the big stunner of super regional weekend. If Alabama could come back from a game down and take out the #1 team in the SEC and the 3rd-ranked team in the country, Tennessee. Slapped inside the bag at 3rd. That's a fair ball. Kramer Este out of the 9th spot collects a base hit. It's her 3rd of the super regional.
Yeah, Kramer Este is tough down in the 9th spot. Really gives some length to this Texas A&M lineup. An all SEC player for her performance in the SEC conference games, and turns over the order here to get Kennedy Powell and the top of the Aggie lineup up to bat.
Este with a 3rd A&M hit. Powell with a ground ball to 2nd. Well played by Good. And then an SEC team, we know at least 2 will be in the World Series. It could be as many as 5 depending on the games today. Could be more than half the field out of the SEC. That's if Texas A&M, LSU, and Missouri win. We know the winner of Alabama, Tennessee will be an SEC team. And Florida held off a really feisty Baylor team for a 5-3 game 3 win today. Reese Atwood now with a big swing and a foul ball against Shaylee Ackerman. 9 plate appearances for Reese Atwood over the weekend. She's reached base 7 out of 9 times. She's picked up 3 hits. She's been walked 3 times. She's been hit by a pitch, and she has absolutely scalded the ball on her only 2 outs. And Atwood will reach again. Ackerman goes up and in. Atwood hit by a pitch, and she is the first Texas base runner.
You can tell with a couple of these hot hitters, both for A&M and for Texas, that you just try to be so careful and work the ball off the plate. We've seen several hit by pitches, just not trying to let that pitch get more on the plate, knowing the power potential in these offenses.
Jolie Mitchell moved up 2 spots in the lineup today. Mitchell's had terrific plate appearances all weekend. She's only 2 for 5, but she's walked twice. She has a sacrifice bunt and a home run. Mitchell got off to an amazing start in her Texas career, coming out of Notre Dame. As of March 28th, she was hitting .493. Then she had a .191 stretch over a 19-game span, and you see what she's done since. And I love what Mike White told us about Jolie Mitchell. He said some people have a good swing and some are good hitters. Her stance, her footwork, it's not what you teach, but it gets results.
Yeah, he said not necessarily a prototypical swing, but she knows how to compete. She knows how to hit. Really scrappy type player.
She's got a terrific eye and a 3-1 count against the graduate student Shaylee Ackerman, making her super regional debut. Off the wrist of Mike White. Here's what Jolie Mitchell did yesterday in the 4th inning against Emily Kennedy.
Solo home run, got a pitch, it's out over the plate and just didn't miss. Full power for Jolie Mitchell. Solo shot. A couple of the home runs that Texas have hit have been solo home runs. Reese Atwood had the other.
Second best on base percentage on the team. And Mitchell will not add to it. She's rung up looking, and it's the first K for Ackerman.
It's a big strikeout for Ackerman to get back into this count and then get the strikeout with her drop ball in the outside corner. That is definitely a strike. I'm not even going to say that caught the edge of the plate. That seemed like about a ball on. Just didn't look like Jolie Mitchell expected something out.
Now ball one to Katie Stewart. Moved down the lineup a spot, 1 out of 8 with a walk and 3 strikeouts here in the Super Regional. Well, Shaylee Ackerman started the regional final against Texas last year. She faced 4 batters. They all reached and they all scored. And she had been struggling a bit down the stretch. She faced Florida at the end of the season, gave up 7 runs in an inning. Stewart golfs one to left. That's right off the top of the fence. Atwood's going to go for third, and she runs right into the glove of Powell. Kramer Este has her 3rd outfield assist of the NCAA tournament.
Had one yesterday too, and she again made a perfect throw to third base. Katie Stewart has been looking for an inside pitch. A&M has been pitching her outside, 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 but she gets one in, it feeds into her swing, and then Kramer Este feeds the ball into third base for the Kennedy Powell out, and that is a perfect throw. The A&M outfield has stepped up and improved this year in a big way, from Kramer to Hill to Enright and Wright.
And now a ground ball to first from Kaden Henry, and A&M gets out of it. Run saved this year. And Tricia Ford said early in the year, Kramer's arm is one of the reasons why she's an Aggie. She could track down balls, great speed, and then she's got that cannon. And we've seen the cannon on display in back-to-back games with outfield assists at third. Coco Woolley leads off in the third. A&M with a 1-0 lead through 2. The winner of this game advances to the Women's College World Series and will play the Stanford LSU winner on Thursday. Woolley reached on an error by the shortstop Martinez and scored the game's only run in the first inning. And Mac Morgan gets a strike over to her, 2-1. Woolley, then Trinity Cannon, who did collect an RBI double in the first inning. Play was changed, no E9, just an RBI double in hindsight. Smacked up the middle. Coco's got a base hit. And Texas A&M has the leadoff runner on for the first time.
My goodness, Coco Woolley, since she came back from an injury that she had in the Alabama series, had some hamstring tightness, came back April 23rd. She has just been absolutely on fire. Keeps her feet still and swings away here. That drop ball just did not get down enough. She stays in her legs to drive it right back up the middle of the field.
And here's Trinity Cannon with a runner on and nobody out. It's right around where Cannon got the pitch for an RBI double in the first inning. Mac Morgan has tried to pitch her away. She'll come in and she'll hit her. Trinity Cannon's now been hit by a pitch all 3 games in this series.
Trying to pitch her hard in. Hit her not where it hurts too bad, like if it's on the knee or the ankle or the elbow, but Trinity Cannon has had enough of getting hit by a pitch.
She's not shy. I don't think that the saying goes, if you can't beat him, hit him. That's what Texas has done. It's the 7th hit batter combined now in the Super Regional. And here's Julia Katzel, who shows a bunt out of the cleanup spot and lays it down foul.
This is someone who needs to step up back behind Trinity Cannon and make a statement to say, if you're going to hit her or pitch around her, then I'm going to be the one that steps up behind her and makes you pay for it.
Tricia Ford is going to make a pinch running substitution here after strike one. This is Scout Lovell. Tegan Kavan's up again for Texas in the bullpen.
It's a good compliment to Mac Morgan, who's throwing right now. Morgan being drop, 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 and Kavan in the bullpen being rise, rise, rise.
Smoke to third. Scott gets the lead runner and throws to first for a double play.
That's why you love having a ground ball pitcher in the circle when you have a force out at third or a force out at second, because you can just feed your infield some ground balls. This had double play written all over it off the bat. Mia Scott turns it beautifully. Made the play when she needed to. Shows off her arm across the diamond. Good stretch by Katie Stewart for 1 pitch and 2 outs. That's a big pitch with where A&M is at in their order.
Morgan this year, and now Jazz Hill. And Hill will take a low strike. We'll see just how careful Mac Morgan is with Jazz Hill, who's 6 for 10 now, and a super regional.
And Mac Morgan hasn't thrown that changeup a lot at all. Hasn't thrown it much this year at all. Even just throwing that pitch 3% of the time. That was a good one there. Our former teammate, maybe not expecting it, way out in front of that pitch. Got herself into an 0-2 count.
Should say officially, for those of you keeping score at home, Hill reached on an error, even though Mia Scott didn't bobble or throw the ball away at third, and there was really nothing any third baseman could do to retire Jazz Hill, who's a good runner. So if you want to keep it as a base hit in your scorebook, you're not alone, but that's where it stands. Hill ground ball to second. Leanne Good. All 3 outs on the ground for Matt Morgan, including 2 regional. Strike one to Leanne Good. Hey, this is nothing new to some of the Longhorns. It's a pretty young team. There are 6 sophomores or freshmen in the starting lineup, but there are plenty of Longhorns who remember the glory days of May and June 2022, when Texas at one point won 6 straight elimination games in the postseason. 1 against Washington, 2 against Arkansas in the regionals and supers, then Arizona, followed by Oklahoma State twice to make it all the way to the championship series.
And that team really united what it felt like more at the end of the season when they felt slighted, not getting a national seed. They were sent to Seattle and won that regional, beat Washington, and then they had to go to Fayetteville quickly on a super regional that started on Thursday night and won that super to make it to OKC. Living on the arm of Haley Dolcini, who was the star for Texas and one of the stars of the Women's College World Series for her heroic efforts in the circle and what she did.
One and 2 for Leanne Good against Shaylee Ackerman, the grad student for A&M. And Good swings and misses. A great changeup by Ackerman for her second strikeout.
This is that changeup that we said was a must-have pitch for Shaylee Ackerman in this game. That's from her head coach and pitching coach, Tricia Ford. Look at Julia Cottrell, too, pumped up, knowing the importance of this pitch. Sold that pitch, started about hip high, and then fell off the table. That's a great pitch for Ackerman.
Bella Dayton back in the 9th spot.
And I think another important factor in the numbers that Texas has put up this year is that they've played a very tough schedule in February and their non-conference schedule going into Big 12 play. So they're hitting all those home runs and for an average against Great pitching.
Drill to right, Bella Dayton. That one gets past Enright down to the wall. Dayton will hold it second, and she has Texas's second double of the game.
And Bella Dayton being aggressive. This pitch just does not really move. It's about belt high, and Bella Dayton recognizes it's a mistake and just crushes it. Bella Dayton shows up in a big way for this Texas program in the postseason. She has done it for many years, defensively and offensively.
7 out of 15, 2 extra base hits, a walk, 5 RBIs. Now Maloney flares one out of play. Bella Dayton rode the emotional roller coaster yesterday. The 4th inning, she thought she was being held at third by Mike White on a Mia Scott hit. Mike White later said, "I was just pointing to the base. I wanted her to go home." He took ownership of it. Maloney slaps one to second. It kicks away from Wiggins. It's an error on the infield against Texas A&M's all defensive second baseman. And the Longhorns have him at the corners.
That's not an easy play at all, but this is a play that has to be made because it could be a potential out, the second out of this inning, especially with where Texas is at in their order. Again, not going to be easy. She gets it in between hop. It eats her up. Now Texas has runners on the corners, less than 2 outs.
Do you need to charge that or back up that?
It's so tough with the speed of Maloney. You have to make that quick decision. I think she was going for the short hop and kind of got that in between hop.
Ball gets away. Dayton breaking to the plate. Cottrell didn't see her. And Bella Dayton dashes home. Texas is on the board and the game is tied at 1.
There has to be better communication from Shaylee Ackerman here. Julia Cottrell had no idea, or seemed like no idea, that Bella Dayton was coming home, but Shaylee Ackerman needs to be yelling, going, 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 or take the tag on your own, or maybe Julia Cottrell didn't hear her, I don't know, but she seemed a little bit late to decide, am I coming up and making the toss to Ackerman, or am I going on my own? I thought if Julia Cottrell played this perfectly, she could dive to Bella Dayton and get the out, but instead, Dayton, with her emotion, ties up this game.
A wild pitch that moved Maloney to second. How many wild plays, crazy base running moments have we seen Bella Dayton be involved in the NCAA tournament? Go back to 2 years ago when she helped lead Texas all the way to the finals. Ground ball to first. Cannon gobbles it up. Maloney down to third on out number 2. Remember, one of the plays that will never be forgotten in Texas history, that Bella Dayton base hit Monday night, semifinal number 2. Texas was down 2 to Oklahoma State. Dayton singled. There were multiple errors on the play committed by Oklahoma State. She came all the way around to score. Texas got 3 on the play, took a 6-5 lead. She just always seems to find herself in the middle of chaos. So Viviana Martinez now with a runner at third and 2 down. And with Reese Atwood on deck, we'll see if Martinez gets something good to hit. Grounded out to first back in the first inning. Each team with an unearned run. A&M's unearned run came after an error by Martinez. Started that first inning. Trinity Cannon would double in Coco Woolley after the Martinez error. Reese Atwood waiting in the wings. There are 2 bases open. Jolie Mitchell would be after that. Right now it's Ackerman and Martinez, the grad student pitcher and the sophomore hitter.
Really good eye by Vivi Martinez. She just looks calm and collected in the box right now, knowing that Shaylee Ackerman's going to want to be careful with her, but also that Reese Atwood is on deck, and she's going to get something to hit right here.
She does. She drives it the other way. It's down for a hit. Martinez takes second base ahead of the throw. And the Texas Longhorns do some damage early for once. 2 runs in the third, and Texas takes the lead in game 3.
Shaylee Ackerman's misses in that at bat were just too big. So then in the 3-1 count, she had to come more on the plate and more up in the zone to try to bait Vivi Martinez into swinging, knowing that Reese Atwood was on deck. Martinez did get something more up. She doesn't miss, and she takes the lead for Texas.
The 3rd most doubles in the Big 12. That's her 17th. And Viviana Martinez now has an extra base hit in 11 of her last 17 games. Tied the game in the 5th inning, or in the 6th inning yesterday. Gives Texas the lead in the 3rd today. Julia Cottrell is going to go out to the circle.
Or Brooke Vestal to keep A&M in this game, as well as the A&M offense. They've shown up all weekend. You got to show up in game 3 as well. You know that Texas is going to score. You got to score right back.
Atwood, a little slow ground ball to short. Woolley heaves it there in time. 2-run third. Spent some time with you. Your kids before the game seem to have a lot of energy, seem loose. How do you assess the energy and the looseness you've seen for the first 3 innings?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. We're putting some good swings on some good pitches, and we just got to get a couple more to fall our direction.
Coach, with it being all hands on deck with the pitchers, how are you going to know when to make these decisions and switches in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I have a game plan before I went into this game, so we kind of know at what point in the lineup what pitcher is going to go in, and Shaylee's doing a heck of a job right now.
You going to tell us all your secrets?
Not a chance.
Didn't think so. Thanks, Tricia. Great to see you this weekend.
Yeah, thanks and gig 'em.
And Tricia Ford's Aggies are waiting for her to be done with the interview so they can go back in the dugout. Been so fun to spend time with Tricia Ford and a bunch of the Texas A&M players this weekend. Shaylee Ackerman hasn't allowed an earned run so far. A couple of strikeouts, but 2 unearned runs in that 3rd. Trinity Cannon, another RBI double. Been a statement weekend for Texas A&M, however it plays out. Rylan Wiggins down the line, that's foul. But I know you know this program so well. You've been around it for so many years. It's really my first time getting to spend a lot of time around Tricia Ford and the Aggies, and I'm so impressed with what they've done. Year 2 here for A&M. She's kept some of the previous players. She's brought in some great freshmen, some terrific transfers. There's a lot more talent, it feels like, that's going to come into College Station in the next few years. Would not be surprised if a 16 seed is going to be their worst number for a while as Wiggins flies that to center field. Hey, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City, and in case you didn't know, it returns there in 4 days. What? Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, Thursday on ESPN. For more information on the Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Ball 1 to Maya Perez. What's impressed you the most about the growth in 2 years of A&M under Tricia Ford?
One that I've thought about a lot, too, is the growth, I think, in every aspect of the skill set. You've seen growth in the circle. You've seen big growth on defense. That's probably what sticks out the absolute most to me in terms of the skill set, but hitting for a little bit more power, hitting for a little bit more average, but the way that they have been able to play defense behind a small pitching staff is what has helped win them a lot of games.
Maya Perez fouls away strike 2 against Mac Morgan. Tricia Ford feels like they've had 4 different shortstops that play at times in the infield. We haven't seen Amari Harper in this series, but Powell, Woolley Wiggins, great outfield. They play hard. They play with a serious chip on their shoulder. She said that, and then we asked Mike White, what's a Tricia Ford team like? And he said they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be loud. You know the kind of intensity you're going to get from Texas A&M.
Yeah, and it's just been their fight that you've seen in the series as well. And she's been proud of their ability to keep fighting, and I mean, I think that you can say that about A&M, but you can also say that exact same thing about Texas. But there are those improvements in batting average and a little bit more pop with hitting more home runs. That ERA has gone up because the Super Regional has had a lot of offense. So it was a little bit different than that 2.7, a little bit lower than what they had last year. But fielding percentage has dramatically gone up.
Perez smacks one to short. That's caught on the line by Martinez. And how about Matt Morgan? Gave up a run 3 batters into the game and has pitched very well since.
Settled right into this game, and she has pitched the most innings for Texas. And I'm wondering if maybe if you're a Texas fan, or if we ask Coach White coming into the series, who do you think is going to pitch the most innings on your pitching staff by the end of the Super Regional? I would have loved to have known his answer, because so many different arms to go to.
Ground ball to short. Martinez makes a long throw, and it's in time on Enright. That's a terrific play by Vivi Martinez. Only thrown 37 cents. What's Mac done to be successful today?
Just getting ahead, that's the secret, right? Just making them swing the bats, and I like the way our defense is playing. Obviously a little hiccup in the first innings, but she was able to work through it. Still made good pitches in the first innings as well.
Coach, what is your offense seeing from Shaylee Ackerman, and how can they continue to adjust?
We just got to stop swinging the balls. I think early in the count there, we've chased a couple of pitches, and we just need to get the ball up where we can hit it. So, you know, that's the key for us right now.
What is happening behind your head?
Who knows what they're doing there? You know, they're getting
some dinosaurs.
Oh, I think it's the dinosaur clicker things. Whatever.
Yep, classic dinosaur clicker things.
Small minds, small toys.
You know, well, thanks, Coach. We were wondering if we were going to see something new and crazy in this game. We haven't seen the dinosaur clickers yet.
Well, it's about time. Here's what we saw in the third from Texas. Bella Dayton doubled, went to third on an error against Rylan Wiggins, and scored on a wild pitch. And then a couple of batters later, Vivi Martinez, her team leading 17th double. So 2 runs unearned in the inning against Shaylee Ackerman. And Texas is in the lead. Longhorns never led in game 1, didn't lead till the 6th inning of game 2. So they're taking care of business a little earlier tonight. Remember, the winner of this game advances to the Women's College World Series. For Texas, it would be the 7th time. They were there 2 years ago. They've only been once since 2013. Texas A&M has not been there since 2017. Aggies have made 12 trips to the World Series. Longhorns looking for their 7th, and they've had a great pitching performance from Morgan. And that bottom note might frighten you if you're an Aggie fan. Texas 45-0 this season, leading after 4.
And how impressive is it that Mike White has gone to 14 straight Super Regionals, and just him as a head coach just never missing?
It's insane. It's his 15th year as a head coach. The only year he didn't make it was the COVID year, 2020. He and Patty Gasso are the only coaches to have made the last 14 Super Regionals. Did it all 8 times at Oregon, including here at Texas, and then here at Texas. He played Oregon in a regional 3 years ago. 3-1 to Mitchell, high in the air to shallow left. Este makes a catch. It's a Texas team that returned 83% of its RBIs from last season and added this batter, Katie Stewart, who set the freshman RBI record for the Longhorns. Highest scoring team in Texas history. Now 84 more runs than the 2022 team. Tied the 2010 team with 88 home runs. Two 2-0 for Stewart from Ackerman. Now, the one flaw Mike White's teams have had, they have not always been great defensive teams. The best team defense in his 15 years. Oregon in 2018, they were 20th in the country in fielding percentage, but this team has been much better as the years gone on. Stewart gets under a ball to center. 2 flyouts in the inning, and let's send you to Matt Schick for a studio check-in. 2 outs away from Duke, Oklahoma, Matt. Okay, during that update, I'm told Missouri just hit a 3-run homer. So it's 4-3 all of a sudden. So Abby Hay has just made it a 1-run game down in Como.
Oh my goodness.
Fasten your seatbelts. No runs for 8 innings, and now 7 runs in the 9th alone. That game on ESPNU. Alabama, Tennessee. That game is still 4-0 Bama. That's in the bottom of the 6th. 1-1 Caden Henry. Shortstop. Woolley knocks it down, and Henry's just too fast. He beats it out and reaches base with 2 down.
It's a hard hit ball. That, I think, should go down as a single because it was hit so hard, bounced off of her. And this is the type of speed that we've seen from Caden Henry all weekend long. She is so quick because I did not get far from Coco Woolley, and she has a good arm. But Caden Henry just so fast has beat A&M's defense in a lot of different ways with her speed.
Fly ball right center from Leanne Good. And it's flyouts to every outfielder in the unit. UCLA gets the winner of Alabama, Tennessee. 2-1 game here. Matt Morgan to Kramer Este, and Leanne Good cleans up this ground ball. So Matt Morgan merrily rolling right along. 2 times through the order. Gave up an unearned run in the first, and nothing since.
Matt Morgan is just doing such a good job. Mike White had said in his press conference last night that we're just not surprising them when it came to trying to get out the Texas A&M hitters. But Mac Morgan has just done such a good job starting this game and getting outs.
She's their big game pitcher. Kennedy Powell. Mac Morgan said to the Daily Texan last year, he talks a lot, Mike White, about making each pitch your masterpiece. And she's taken it upon herself to make sure every pitch is a masterpiece of its own thing. Her 70th pitch today, there have been a lot of masterpieces in there. Started getting pitching lessons at 11, 12 years old, and right away she knew she was a drop baller.
Well, and Mike White challenged her before the season to throw more ground ball outs. With her being a drop ball pitcher, he felt like last season they were getting too many flyouts compared to ground outs, and really wanted her to come into the season focusing more on the movement of her drop ball and location of it. And she's done a better job this year at owning that drop ball and getting more ground ball outs than she did last year.
Ground out to fly out ratio is about 3.5 to 1. Powell's grounded out twice today. And Powell puts one on the ground again. A charging Martinez throws her out. It's Memorial Day. Who you got? Notre Dame, Maryland.
Probably going to go Notre Dame.
You know I got to go with the Terps. Old Bay for everybody. Want to know for Coco Woolley. Reached an error. Singled. Scored the only A&M run. Woolley slices the ball into right, and Maloney charges in to make the catch. Matt Morgan's retired 8 in a row, and she 3 to go on this Sunday night. Either Texas or Texas A&M, either LSU or Stanford. That game is going to start in 36 minutes here on ESPN2. And then Alabama and Tennessee. Alabama trying to hang on after a first inning grand slam from Riley Valentine, a 14 seed, looking to upset the 3 in Knoxville. Here's Texas with Dayton, Maloney, and Scott. Shaylee Ackerman really has pitched well in her first appearance of the Super Regional round. Just 2 unearned runs, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, has not walked a batter. And she gets a strike on Dayton here.
Yeah, she's absolutely done her job here in this game. And there's an error in that bottom of the 3rd inning when Ash Maloney came up at E4. That's when Texas scored those 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd and took the lead, but Shaylee Ackerman has pitched to contact and pitched great.
Dayton left side. Ackerman pitches to contact again for another out. Now, she was a two-way player, Shaylee Ackerman. Back in 2021, she had 12 homers, walked 17 times, hit .288 in 51 games. But otherwise struggled at the plate in her career, dealt with some back problems. So this is her 3rd year as a pitcher. 2022 at a .398 ERA, 15 games, 6 starts. Last year at a .237 ERA, 29 games, 18 starts. Emily Kennedy really has taken a significant step forward. So Ackerman has not been able to throw as much as a result. But in the biggest moment of Texas A&M season, she has come through.
Yeah, and Coach Ford had told us, too, that she was so excited to see Shaylee Ackerman come back this year because it was the first year that she really got to pitch was last year, and she just felt like she loved the progress that she saw from Shaylee Ackerman last year, but still felt like she had some things on the table that she wanted to address that she knew she could help her with this season to try to make it great and use that last year to contribute to this pitching staff.
Ground ball to short. Maloney really throws her out. Maloney's 0 for 3. Mia Scott has grounded out to first base twice. 3 for 12 here in the Super Regional. Junior from Angleton, Texas. Shaylee Ackerman is taking advantage of a 5th year for athletes who are playing during the COVID season in 2020. So a graduate student comes back to Texas A&M, trying to pitch them into the World Series. Strike 1 spun into Scott.
I mean, you coming into this game that somebody other than Emily Kennedy and the pitching staff for A&M was going to have to step up. Was it going to be Emily Levitt? Was it going to be Shaylee Ackerman? Ackerman has had a quality start. It's a nice looking changeup right there. Didn't get the call. You can see Julia Cottrell just can't believe it, but not having pitched in the Super Regional and then getting the call in Game 3 with the season on the line and Oklahoma City on the line, that is not an easy task, and she has handled it beautifully.
Big bats coming up for Texas. Scott trying to give Martinez an opportunity. Atwood to follow. Texas has not walked in the game. Scott, center field, well hit, and the ball's gone. A low riser that snuck out over the 10-foot high wall. And a big blow from Mia Scott makes it 3-1 Texas.
Coach White has said that Mia Scott is unpredictable, and I think that you can say that for a lot of different reasons about Mia Scott, but this power that she has been more predictable this year with a step up in power, this solo home run. This is actually the 3rd solo home run that Texas has hit in the Super Regional.
And she's hit 8 of her 10 home runs since then. Amazing late season power surge for a player who had a breakout season at the World Series in 22 and has been an all Big 12 selection all 3 of her years with the Longhorns. Remember at the World Series, Mia Scott had her first 5 hits that year on 5 pitches. She was swinging at everything, and she's a little more patient now. Worked the count to 3-1 before that homer. Martinez smokes a ball up the alley in right center field. She's got a double in the game. She's trying to leg out another, and she beats the throw from Jazz Hill. It's a double-double night for Vivi.
Vivi Martinez has had a monster game here in Game 3, defensively and offensively. I mean, she has been so hot here late in the season, and just at times it feels like she doesn't even have a heartbeat with how calm she has been able to stay. Man, goes hard into second base. Jazz Hill made a great throw from the wall. Vivi Martinez gets in with a double. Now a couple of extra base hits and back-to-back hitters against Ackerman. I think right now would be a good time maybe for a bit.
Atwood, the National Player of the Year finalist. All one to Atwood, back pick to second. It hit the runner, Martinez. Nobody was actually covering the base when Cottrell threw there. That's a huge break for Texas A&M.
Well, yeah, and it looked like a called pitch out too, with where Levitt located that and then moved out of the way of the throw that she knew was coming. I think the only one not on the same page was Rylan Wiggins, our middle infielder, Coco Woolley.
And Atwood gets hit for the second time. There's a guard there, but it still seems painful. Reese Atwood has been hit 3 times in this series, and Texas has 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, for Trinity Cannon on the other side and Reese Atwood on this side, it seems like this has been happening a lot. Just right into that elbow.
So Reese Atwood is standing next to Trinity Cannon. They are in the 3 hit by pitch club. Both have been plunked 3 times in the 3 games. Ball one way high now to Julie Mitchell. Mitchell struck out looking in the second, one of only 2 strikeouts for Texas today. And the Longhorns have only swung and missed once out of 26 swings.
Such a big game to enter into, to throw your first pitches of a super regional if you're Emily Levitt with your season on the line. You have to try to get comfortable real quick here and throw strikes.
Ball 3. Junior from Chino, California. Began her career at Minnesota. Opening day starter for A&M last year. Trying to keep hopes alive in the Super Regional. And Mitchell thought it was strike 1, but it's ruled inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded. Trisha Ford's going, where was that pitch?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to give her an answer, because I thought that was a strike.
Leah Dame has the only opinion, and her opinion was it was inside. And here's Katie Stewart, who can set this game on fire with one big swing.
And this would be such an important inning for A&M to try to get out of and reverse such a big inning for Texas if they're able to score a few more.
That is the Katie Stewart dormitory. Not officially, but that's the building that Katie Stewart has hit multiple times. She has broken multiple windows during batting practice. She has a big chance with the bases loaded as Texas inserts a pinch runner for Atwood at second. It'll be Adea Wallace who takes over. She has been a pinch runner every game in the NCAA tournament. So 7 in a row out of the zone for the junior Emily Levitt. And there's the first strike.
A changeup is a pitch that she'll go to often, and a pitch that she feels like she can throw for a strike when she needs to.
Maybe the pinch runner break was a good thing for Levitt. Gave her a little bit of a breather after she had thrown 7 balls in a row. One, 2 for Stewart. And the freshman, it's a ground ball to short. Woolley's going to go to first and get out of the inning. Levitt leaves him loaded, and Texas, who has been doing push-ups and high kicks and all kinds of crazy fun things in the stands for Texas A&M all season. She's got another pair of wild glasses on. Revis, a cancer survivor, diagnosed in 2018 with stage 5 ovarian cancer. Here she is 6 years later. And her knees just smoked the ball to left. Right off the top of the wall. Cannon will hold it first with a base hit. Time to fire up Aunt Revis again. Her niece is on base for a third time.
She's loving it. I mean, she loves this game no matter if Trinity Cannon is 0 for 4 or 4 for 4 with 4 home runs. She is the biggest cheerleader for this Texas A&M team, the biggest light of joy, a big part of Trinity Cannon's life and support. Likes to fire up the fans all the time.
We told her story game 1, but if you're hearing it for the first time, it's an incredible one. She was told she had a 3% chance to live. She had a hard time finding a doctor because the odds were so low. And she ended up going to a hospital called Baylor Scott and White Health in Dallas. She ended up taking Trinity's room, and Trinity moved in to bunk with her siblings. And Aunt Revis had a tumor removed August 1st of 2018. There's a bunt by Cottrell. Morgan out of the circle, throws it away down the line and right. Cannon advances to third. It's runners at the corners and nobody out. Here come the Aggies. It's a collision at first between Cottrell and Stewart. That is what Russ Heffley's talking about to the first base umpire, James Colsey.
Yeah, great bunt to get the top of the ball by Julia Cottrell, and you can tell with where Katie Stewart is set up, just moves her left foot in front of the first base bag. And Julia Cottrell, I mean, she has to get to first base. That's where she's trying to get, but you can tell with Stewart where Stewart has positioned herself, not just in this play, but this has happened all throughout this weekend. Collision there, but now runners on the corners, no outs.
Emily Kennedy watching on. The pinch runner, Haley Golden. And ball 1 to Jazz Hill. I think that's the third time we've seen an A&M runner step on Stewart. And again, Stewart's has had awkward positions on the base. So the pinch runner Golden, the tying run, nobody out. And a 2-0 count here on Jazz Hill, who homered yesterday.
To you.
Strike 1 to Hill around the outside edge. 2 years ago, they were teammates at Arizona State. They are mortal enemies on the diamond right now. Hill takes one a little bit too tight. It's 3-1. From her old Sun Devil pal, Mac Morgan.
Why Mac Morgan has been so good in this game is because her drop ball has just been living on the edges.
The 3-1 pitch. Hill grounds it to second base. Good, will get the out at second, and safe the call at first. Hill hot foots it down the line. It's an RBI fielder's choice to score Cannon, and it's 3-2.
Wouldn't surprise me if we see Mike White challenge this one just to take a look. That was so close at first base. We've seen a lot of tight plays at first. Good turn by Good to Martinez. That is so smooth. A bang-bang play at first base. I think that it's about as close as it gets. Good feed, good turn. Man, that's tight.
There has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn it. I don't know that there's enough to overturn. It is awfully close. The call on the field is safe.
Could potentially be her last at bat if things don't change. Wants to make the most of it. And as we have said many times this weekend, one of the players who told us it just seemed the most joyful and anxious and excited when talking about the Women's College World Series, wanting to get there.
We mentioned this. She has been to the World Series as a fan 3 times. She was there 15 years ago, and she was just a little kid, just dreaming about moments like this. Now she's in them. Wiggins, first pitch swinging, and it's popped up. Shallow center field, falls in for a base hit. Nobody took charge for Texas, and Wiggins has the luck of the draw with a bloop base hit to put 2 on.
We've seen some indecisiveness in the outfield with a young outfield. Caden Henry, a freshman, Ashton Maloney, a sophomore. This ball was in the air for a long time. Good kind of pointing there at Caden Henry, like, you go, but nobody took charge. All underclassmen that this ball fell in between.
And now it's Maya Perez with a go-ahead runs on base. Off of her first career home run last night in the 7th. Perez up and in. Did she swing or was she hit? Leah Dami is signaling back in the go-ahead run. Price at first. Allie Enright with the bases loaded. And only 1 out. She swings and misses. A rarity in this series. Strike 1 from Cavan. Allie Enright has been to the Women's College World Series, but she did not play there with Arizona in 2022. Strike 2 from Cavan.
It's been one of her colder moments offensively these past few games, and has 1 hit in the Super. It's down here, but still has to try to keep that belief that she can get the job done.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cavan with a big-time K.
Cavan went right at Allie Enright with a couple of low rises and then a rise ball that moved out of the zone. That reaction by Reese Atwood is a classic. Bases loaded. The best thing that you can get is a strikeout if you were the Texas defense and Cavan.
Kramer Este is due up. Patricia Ford has a move to make here. She is going to send up a pinch hitter, Ayanna Coleman. Well, Kramer Este is 2 for 6 with a walk, hit by pitch, all SEC player, .411 on base percentage. Patricia Ford is going to put her faith in the sophomore Ayanna Coleman, just 9 for 44 on the year with 4 walks. She does have some big time pop. 3 homers and 2 doubles out of those 9 hits. Sophomore versus freshman. Coleman attacks the first pitch.
Well, and you want to against Tegan Cavan. She's going to use her rise ball the majority of the time, about 80% of the time, and then mix in that changeup. But when she gets 2 strikes, she nails opponents hitting against her this year in her freshman year. 0-88 with 2 strikes. You want to be aggressive early.
Hill, Wiggins, and Price the runners. Coleman smokes it foul. 2 good-looking swings, but ultimately 2 strikes. Her first A&M hit was a 267-foot home run. She is a College Station kid, and she can send the folks back home into a frenzy with a hit right here. A&M 0 for 7 in the game with runners in scoring position. 4 for 23 in the Super Regional. The go-ahead runs are on base for Ayanna Coleman. One Texas pitching legend watching. A freshman who could be a legend in the making in the circle. And Tegan wants a timeout. Yeah, I think we're going to need a few more than 4 minutes here, Matt, to close this one out. Emily Kennedy's on. Her Aggies trailing 3-2. It's Kennedy for the stretch run. Started the first 2 games here in the Super Regional. 14 2/3 in the Super Regional. More than 3,000 pitches this year. And she gets a swing and a miss there against Caden Henry. And Kennedy's nodding her head because she just got a swing and a miss up in the zone, which is where she can thrive. There are the numbers for the likely All-American. As Henry flares one down the line and left. Eshte back in the game, will slide in self-defense.
And Emily Kennedy has, I think in the words of Tricia Ford, pitched her guts out in this Super Regional. Getting the start back-to-back days, throwing almost every pitch in those first 2 games in 100 degrees.
Swing and a miss, she got her.
And a little bit of upspin here with her rise ball, something that Coach Ford talked to us about that she needs to do if she were to enter this game, and you see her, is to use the top of the zone with her rise ball. Through 254 pitches the first 2 games, and that had a heat index at times of 105, 108. It has been hot here in Austin with an excessive heat warning. Emily Kennedy has pitched through it, wanting the ball along the way.
Pinch hitter Victoria Hunter, who faced Kennedy in the 6th inning in game 1. And grand slammed the pitch she saw from Kennedy in that 6th inning. Pinch hit had a fielder's choice ground ball yesterday, a play where a run scored.
We've talked about the moments that this Super Regional has had, and there's been 20 of them that you can think of. One of the originals from game 1 is that Victoria Hunter pinch hit grand slam.
Texas did not win that game, but it felt, Amanda, like they carried some momentum. Maybe not right at the start of the game, but they felt like they could get to Emily Kennedy in that 6th and 7th inning on Friday. And they eventually got to her mainly in the 6th inning yesterday.
The 6th inning has been a big inning for Texas, scoring late, coming from behind. I mean, that grand slam was so special. Down by 6. Coach White chooses to put Hunter in. This is the first pitch of the at-bat. She hit a grand slam and lit up this crowd to get back into it. It was all Texas A&M in game 1 before that swing by the freshman.
In the dirt, Hunter walks. A 1-out base runner for Texas, looking for another lucrative 6th. And Hunter will go back to the dugout after doing her job. Leanne Good re-enters to run. One more time for Bella Dayton here at McCombs Field. That one gets between the legs of Cottrell. She does well to keep it from going all the way through. Dayton led off the rally in the 3rd inning with a 1-out double. Scored on a wild pitch. Dayton, good back control. Flare to left field, dumps in between Eshte and Woolley. It's a 2-hit night for Bella Dayton.
It's continuing to produce in that 9 spot for Texas, and goes down to get that pitch. It is off the end of her bat, but it finds a hole behind Coco Woolley, who tried to run it down, and just in front of Kramer Eshte. Now you have to face the top of the Texas lineup.
Ashton Maloney 0 for 3. What a night here in Texas. What a weekend here in Texas. Maloney, right side. Cannon on the run to second. Got the out there. And then a throw to third. Skips away. Leanne Good scores the 4th run on a throw to third that really didn't need to be made, and Texas tacks on a 4th run.
That is such a big play in this game and a big run for Texas to tack on another one with where A&M is at in their lineup and limited outs, but mistake there, aggressive base running by Leanne Good to immediately see that ball down and know that she could go home. Really talented play, by the way, of Trinity Cannon to take that force out at 2, but it's out.
Receive word from the replay review center in Pittsburgh. He's shaking his head, and there is no interference. So it's 4-2 Texas. The run will stand, and the Longhorns get a big insurance run. Coco Woolley, who's due up second in the 7th inning, will be looking for a chance at redemption. First, Emily Kennedy's trying to get out of here against Mia Scott. It's the 2nd straight night where we have 5 errors combined. Texas has made 3, leading to 2 unearned runs. A&M's made 2, leading to 3 unearned runs. Scott, center field, base hit, Mia Scott. Maloney will come home, and Maloney will cross with the 5th Longhorn run. Mia Scott with RBIs in back-to-back innings.
Couple of hits that are just falling for Texas. Mia Scott is jammed on this pitch, or doesn't get all of it, but basically puts it in the perfect spot behind Coco Woolley. Emily Kennedy just working so fast right now, as she usually does in the circle for A&M, speeding everybody up.
And then Cottrell throws it away down the right field line. And Scott takes an extra base. The speed and the havoc of Texas. Tricia Ford with a meeting of the minds, try to let cooler heads prevail here. What an atmosphere this has been. The crowd's getting more and more animated as the weekend's gone. Attendance has been rising every day. Official word, we have a stadium record crowd here in Austin tonight. And the bleachers behind home plate, the outfield bleachers. Folks hanging on the outfield wall. Martinez out toward the bleachers in right, and right can't get to it. It clangs off the wall. Martinez on her way to third. It's an RBI triple. 6-2 Texas. Vivi Martinez with the night of her life.
Vivi Martinez is the player of the game for me, with the way that she has stepped up at the plate, putting the ball all over the field. That is her 3rd extra base hit in this game. And the way that she has played defense on top of that, you would have to give player of the game to Vivi Martinez, stepping up.
Texas has now scored 12 runs in the 6th inning in this series. 3 tonight, and Reese Atwood batting. And Atwood gets hit in the head. That is the 3rd time today Reese Atwood has been drilled. And the 5th hit batter of the series. And Texas with another. Okay.
I guess they were looking to see if it hit the knob of the bat and not her helmet. I'm real confused on that, because to me it was very obvious.
Well, now that that's out of the way, here comes Julie Mitchell. The runs are all earned, by the way. One error was at the back end of a play. We was on a throw to a base by Cottrell. Here's Julie Mitchell. Ball 1 in the dirt. 8th batter of the inning.
You can tell this inning has just gotten really fast and sped up on A&M with the way that they've played, mistakes that they've made, pitches that they've made. And Texas taking advantage of that.
It's the postseason experience of Texas on one side. A&M is the older team. so they have more game experience. But Texas has the home crowd. A record home crowd at that, as Mitchell fouls it away. 2,246 is the official attendance tonight, maybe more than that. Folks in the outfield, there are folks out beyond the right field foul pole sitting in lawn chairs. Mitchell, left field line, that ball's foul. Been an amazing atmosphere, and by the way, it would not be this amazing if it was Texas and anybody else. The Texas A&M fans have held up their end of the bargain. 2-hour drive or so from College Station. And again, I beg and plead, let these two teams play every year. This is great for the sport. This is one of the great softball environments we've ever seen, and that is strike 3, so the inning is over. Texas once again puts some. Which Texas team will make it? Top of the 7th, Tegan Kavan against the Aggies' top 3. She loaded the bases, or came in with a runner on, gave up a hit and a walk to load the bases, and struck out Allie Enright and pinch hitter Ayanna Coleman. And the freshman faces Powell, Woolley, and Trinity Cannon. Kennedy Powell, left side. Vivi Martinez is there. She's got 3 extra base hits today. First time she's done that since she did it against UCLA early in the year. And she secures the first out of the 7th inning.
It's a huge out, too, at the top of the order for A&M, and the speed of Kennedy Powell to get that out.
Strike 1 zipped into Coco Woolley. One out of 3 tonight for Woolley. On an absolute tear in the final month of the season. I know the defense has been up and down for these teams, but the quality of at-bats has been so high that as a neutral observer, you just wish both of these teams could find a way into the World Series bracket. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. Either way, a really good team is going to see its season end, and some really good players are going to see their college softball careers end right here in Austin. 2-strike pitch. Little tapper. Kavan will not have a chance. It's a base hit for Coco Woolley, and the Aggies have a 7th inning base runner. And maybe, just maybe, the last at-bat in Aggie pinstripes for Trinity Cannon. There's a big-time recruit out of high school in Forney, Texas. Aunt Revis and her family have been so supportive. A part-time starter her first year, a full-time starter for the last 3. Cannon takes ball 1.
Well, and to think about this weekend for Trinity Cannon, she's going to actually call timeout. And put her elbow guard on, especially with the amount of hit by pitches that she's had. I think she's going to want that on with the way that they've been trying to pitch her inside. But love to see that smile, especially in what could be her last at bat, maybe. But Kevin, she was hitting in the NCAA tournament in her career 187 coming into this game with just 1 extra base hit, no home runs. And what she's been able to do this weekend has been so special.
Whether it's tonight or next week in Oklahoma City, it's going to be very hard to imagine Aggie softball without Trinity and without Revis and without Rylan Wiggins. These great seniors, Julia Cottrell, Jazz Hill. Cannon's at a 3-0 count. Snap throw to first is not in time by Atwood. Coco Woolley down 4 has got to be careful there.
That's a great throw by Atwood. That was quick.
So 3-0 for Cannon. May as well give her some to hit. Walks as good as a home run with a 4-run lead for Kavan. And she doesn't give her anything to hit. She puts her on base. You knew it wouldn't be easy. Texas A&M's hitters making sure of that. The tying run moves into the on-deck circle with only one out.
That's why that out to Kennedy Powell was just so important to get that leadoff out.
Tricia Ford's going to call over Julia Cottrell with a smile on her face. Rylan Wiggins is looming a couple of batters away. Jasmine Hill is the on-deck hitter. Senior, followed by senior, followed by senior, after a walk from a senior. Julia Cottrell's 234th collegiate game, over a .310 hitter. Cottrell with a big swing down the line and left, heading for the bullpen. She and her father were both hoping to make it to the World Series today. Her dad, Jeff, is an assistant coach at Missouri. Their comeback bid fell short against Duke. Tremendous years for both members of the Cottrell family, and now Julia is trying to get the Cottrell family back there after she played in the World Series 2 years ago with Oklahoma State. Yvonne would like a new ball. Cottrell has lined out, grounded into a double play, and reached on an error. 2 for 11, a walk in the series.
These last few outs to get, if you were a pitcher in any regular season game, but especially a postseason game, are the toughest to get. They're so hard because the other team is always going to put up a fight. They're not going to go away easily.
Cottrell, blast one. No chance for Dayton to even move. Julia Cottrell with a 3-run home run. Here come the Aggies. It's 6-5.
I mean, every single game in this Super Regional has just made you say wow and have 15 different moments packed in it that just give you postseason chills. Julia Cottrell, the senior, has been fairly quiet in this Super Regional, but what could be her last at bat, potentially, she comes up locked in, ready to make it her best one of the Super Regional yet. 3-run bomb for Julia Cottrell to put Texas A&M within 1.
And Jazz Hill represents the tying run. First pitch to Hill is off the plate. Stray bubbles still blowing behind the batter Hill. Raucous celebrations from the Aggie fans, and they are far from finished. Hill with a check swing. Hill hits it hard here, but foul.
Tegan Cavan needs to pull out that changeup here with the way that A&M is ready for her stuff up in the zone. A nasty pitch that is tough to hit alongside that rise ball, but that changeup has been a pitch for her that she hasn't used as much as her rise ball, but it has been extremely effective. Opponents hitting that changeup just with an average of 111.
She knows what this moment's like. Hill pops it up. Scott and Martinez are there. Martinez calls off her third baseman and brings Texas to the doorstep of the World Series. And it'll be Rylan Wiggins standing in the way. The senior who's been dreaming about this her whole life. Ball 1 to Wiggins. When you drive from Terre Haute, Indiana to Oklahoma City when you're in grade school, you better get a love for this game. She did. We have a timeout taken here. Reese Atwood would like to go out and speak with Tegan Cavan. Well, we have just blown by the super regional runs record. 39 combined. Super regionals began in 2005. This is the 19th edition. Texas has scored 20. Texas A&M has scored 19. It's been absolutely thrilling.
Just such even games, too. 2 one-run games in game 1 and game 2, and now here we are in game 3.
A 1-0 pitch to Rylan Wiggins.
It's a good take. Not an easy pitch to take at all, but it's important to make Cavan bring that rise ball down, and that's the pitch that A&M wants to attack. Not the changeup, not the rise ball at their eyes, that rise ball that is through the zone.
Been the best power hitting season of Rylan Wiggins' career. And she takes one a little high and in. She said after yesterday's game, after Texas A&M's loss, when she was asked, at what point did the game did you think you were going to win? I never thought we were going to lose. I hardly ever do. That's the truth. Wiggins is on base. Her career not ready to be finished. The tying run is at first. And last night's 7th inning home run hitter, Maya Perez, is going to have one more shot.
In game 2 yesterday.
Can she do it again? 5 balls in a row thrown by Tegan Cavan. Perez 0 for 2, hit by a pitch in the game. Wiggins a tying run at first. Perez takes another one too tall. 6 balls in a row by Cavan. Action in the Texas bullpen. Morgan, who started this game. Gutierrez, who started this series. Mike White sticking with the Big 12 Freshman of the Year for now. It's another ball high.
So much credit to the patience that Texas A&M has shown in their at-bats here. Game on the line, season on the line, and they're just not pressing. They're seeing some pitches up, trusting their eyes and trusting in their preparation from all season and year long.
Back-to-back walks issued by Tegan Cavan. And the go-ahead runs are on base for Texas A&M. Down to its final out and battling for all it's worth. On the team, her on-base percentage of .460 is 3rd best. Her first at-bat of the Super Regional could end the game or could put A&M in front. First pitch, strike.
That's finding the top of the zone right there. Not too high. You go about as high as you can to clip the top of the zone and get ahead in this AB.
The tying run, Wiggins at second. The winning run, Perez at first. Harper fouls it away. A game and a series that have had more plot twists than an M. Night Shyamalan movie may, just may, be at its conclusion. 1 strike to get for Cavan. Harper stays alive. Amari Harper's first at-bat since the NCAA tournament opener against Albany 9 days ago. for one of the toughest, most talented 16 seeds you'll ever see against the top seed in the nation. Harper takes strike 3. Texas is going to the World Series. Tricia Ford with a meeting of the minds, try to let cooler heads prevail here. What an atmosphere this has been. The crowd's getting more and more animated as the weekend's gone. Attendance has been rising every day. Official word, we have a stadium record crowd here in Austin tonight. And the bleachers behind home plate, the outfield bleachers. Folks hanging on the outfield wall. Martinez out toward the bleachers in right, and right can't get to it. It clangs off the wall. Martinez on her way to third. It's an RBI triple. 6-2 Texas. Vivi Martinez with the night of her life.
Vivi Martinez is the player of the game for me with the way that she has stepped up at the plate, putting the ball all over the field. That is her third extra base hit in this game. And the way that she has played defense on top of that, you would have to give player of the game to Vivi Martinez stepping up.
Texas has now scored 12 runs in the 6th inning in this series. 3 tonight, and Reese Atwood batting. And Atwood gets hit in the head. That is the 3rd time today Reese Atwood has been drilled. And the 5th hit batter of the series. And Texas with another